The Industrial Revolution changed everything because it replaced muscle power with machine power on a large scale. Before industrialization, most goods were made by hand, animals, wind, water, or small workshops. Steam engines, coal, iron, and new machines allowed factories to produce far more goods much faster. To understand a historical question, it helps to begin with ordinary needs. People need food, safety, status, identity, and a way to settle disputes. When many people try to meet those needs at the same time, patterns appear. Villages become towns. Chiefs become kings. Trade becomes taxation. Local quarrels become wars. History is made from human choices. But those choices are shaped by pressure. This transformed work. People moved from villages to cities to take factory jobs. Time became measured by shifts and clocks instead of seasons and daylight. Textiles, railways, steel, and later electricity connected regions and lowered the cost of transportation and production. A concrete example helps. When food production increases, it can support more people, but it can also create competition over land and storage. When trade expands, it can spread goods and ideas, but it can also spread disease or make societies dependent on distant routes. When rulers build armies and roads, they can protect people, but they can also collect taxes and enforce inequality more efficiently. The same development can solve one problem while creating another. The next step is to look at institutions. An institution can be a government, army, market, religion, legal system, school, or custom that tells people what to expect. Institutions make large cooperation possible, but they also decide who benefits and who is excluded. When they solve problems, societies can grow. When they become too rigid or unfair, tension builds. The change also transformed society. Populations grew as food supply and medicine improved. A new industrial working class emerged, along with powerful factory owners and financiers. Cities expanded quickly, often with pollution, crowding, and dangerous labor. Labor unions, public education, modern bureaucracy, and new political movements grew in response. No civilization moves in a straight line. Climate, disease, technology, geography, belief, and leadership all matter. A drought can weaken a kingdom, but it may only become disastrous if taxes are already unfair or rulers have lost trust. A new invention can create wealth, but it can also create new forms of exploitation. That is why history is best understood as connected causes rather than one dramatic event. It is also important to remember that most people in history were not kings, generals, or famous inventors. They were farmers, workers, parents, soldiers, priests, merchants, enslaved people, migrants, and children. Their lives show whether a system actually worked. A civilization can look grand in monuments and still be fragile underneath if ordinary people are hungry, overtaxed, excluded, or afraid. Industrialization changed war, empire, communication, and the environment. It made modern wealth possible, but also fossil fuel dependence and global inequality. It changed everything because it altered the basic relationship between humans, energy, production, and time. The deeper lesson is that the past was not inevitable. People made choices inside limits they did not fully control. By studying those choices, we can see why the modern world looks the way it does, and why different choices can still change what comes next.